It is 6 a.m. and right now on Denver7 News, should police have military-grade equipment? This morning, we start a 360 conversation.
I'm Denver7's Micah Smith, and this morning, several Aurora City Council members will consider a proposal to demilitarize the police department.
New recordings reveal President Trump downplayed the severity of the coronavirus pandemic.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't want to create a panic.
Plus, if you rely on the light rail for your commute, you want to rethink your plans.
I'm Eric Lufer in downtown Denver, where the light rail tracks are getting worked on for the next 2 weeks. I'll tell you how this could affect your commute.
And tonight's the night so many fans have waited for, the return of NFL football.
It really feels like a terrific accomplishment, but we know that it's only part of the journey.
Yeah, limited to no fans in the stands, but I think we're all just glad to have it back. We'll see how the season plays out. Good Thursday morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Molly Hendrickson. We have rain and even a mix of snow still moving through the Front Range right now. Meteorologist Lisa Hidalgo joins us from her home weather center with our Denver7 forecast.
So if you parked outside overnight, your car might be a little wet this morning, and the roads are going to be damp to wet early on. Quite a bit of cloud cover, still some areas of patchy fog, dense fog to the south as you head a little closer to the Springs, and it's chilly, 38 degrees in Denver. Not as cold as yesterday morning, which is nice, but we're still in the 30s, and you're going to find some light snow falling in through the mountains and down across the southern half of the state. So still a little unsettled today, and it is going to take some time to warm up. By lunch, we're going to be in the mid to upper 40s. We'll get into the 50s this afternoon, but keep in mind that's still about 25 degrees cooler than normal. We're typically a little closer to 80 this time of year. Denver 55, Fort Collins 51. We're in the 40s and 50s out west. Everybody is going to warm up this weekend, and skies are really going to clear out. I'll show you what to expect for your weekend coming up here in just a few.
And overall, it does look pretty good. We do have those wet roads we're dealing with. Had some of those snow showers move through and kept the roads wet. And we do have maybe an icy spot or two on some of the bridges and some of those elevated areas. Right now, as we take a look at 6th Avenue out to the west side of town, there in Wadsworth, it looks just wet. And I'm not seeing any big slowdowns out there to Lakewood, Arvada, and Wheat Ridge. Take a look at I-76 there at I-25. Had somebody who just drove off the roadway, off that ramp coming from westbound I-76 to south I-25. I'm not seeing any delays anymore in there as they were well off the roadway, so that's good news. And the drive time right now is only about 10 minutes overall coming in from that side of town. The rest of the commute looks pretty good. I-76, though, will be loading up here in just a little while.
Jason, this morning a heated debate is expected at Aurora City Council about the kind of equipment police should have and be able to use. Police tactics have come under the microscope amid nationwide protests calling for an end to racial injustice. Denver7's Micah Smith joins us live this morning, and Aurora City Council will discuss demilitarizing the police department.
That's right, Brian. And City Council member Juan Marcano suggests doing this by first stopping the city of Aurora from receiving weapons of warfare from the federal government and also stopping the Aurora Police Department from using chemical agents against civilians. The city of Aurora, like many cities across the country, participates in the federal 1033 program. This allows the federal government to give local police departments surplus military equipment. This can be anything from fire trucks to office supplies to tanks. Marcano says he specifically wants Aurora to stop receiving weapons of warfare like tanks and other military-specific equipment. Marcano also says he wants the police department to stop using OC spray foggers. He says, like with the now infamous violin demonstration in honor of Elijah McClain on June 27th, when the foggers are used, they aren't targeting a specific person or group, and people who are complying with officers' orders are hit with the chemical. Marcano says many innocent people have been hurt because of this. Now, although there are a few city council members who support Marcano's proposal, Aurora's mayor, Mike Kaufman, is staunchly against it. He says this would, quote, strip the Aurora Police Department of authority. We'll have more from him at 5:30. Plus, why local police departments can use tear gas and pepper spray when most countries have been outlawed from using it during warfare. Reporting live, Micah Smith, Denver7.
Just a small part of this discussion to reform the police department, and we are starting our 360 conversation on the topic of demilitarizing police. We'd love to hear from you. Do you think police should have military-grade equipment? You can weigh in right now by emailing 360@thedenverchannel.com, and we'll share some of your responses coming up at 6:30.
We have an update to breaking news we brought you last night. Denver police say the man they shot near Denver West High School was trying to carjack a vehicle. This happened near 10th and Inca. Police say the man had a gun and was threatening people in a car when he started charging officers. The suspect is in the hospital this morning. Police have not released his condition. Friends and family of this 26-year-old Denver man are demanding justice after he was hit and killed while riding a scooter in downtown Denver. Christopher Patton died early Monday morning. 3 other people were riding with him. The driver took off, and friends have posted on social media saying it was a white supremacist who intentionally drove into the group. Police say they don't have evidence of this, nor do they even have a description of the driver.
Mother Nature provided some much-needed help for firefighters battling the Cameron Peak fire in Larimer County. Firefighters there measured up to 14 inches of snow from the recent storm. Fire bosses say there has been no new growth since the snow started, but there are structures that have been damaged in 2 areas near where the fire is burning: Pooter Canyon near Rustic and the Monument Gulch area.
It's my understanding what we have for damaged or destroyed structures, I'll simply say, can be counted on one hand. I think it's a very low number. Obviously, it's a tragedy for anyone who lost or had damaged property.
Firefighters are remaining cautious about the fire. While the snow certainly helps, our weather is expected to warm up this weekend, which could reignite problems.
President Trump is defending himself after admitting on tape he downplayed the threat of the coronavirus pandemic. So listen to a recording from an interview with journalist Bob Woodward from March.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't want to create a panic.
The recording was part of 18 interviews the president did with Woodward for his new book, Rage. The president has since called the interview and book a political hit job. Joe Biden called the president's words totally irresponsible.
He knew how dangerous it was. And while this deadly disease ripped through our nation, he failed to do his job on purpose.
There are now 191,000 deaths in the U.S. connected to COVID-19.
Today, the city of Golden discusses extending its mask mandate. The mandate is more strict than what even the state requires. Denver7's Nicole Brady is live in Golden this morning. And Nicole, the city wants to extend the mandate for at least another month.
That's the plan, Brian. It was started 2 months ago in July. They first enacted this mask requirement. They extended it again in August, and now tonight they may consider extending it again until October 9th. Now, city data shows that more people have worn masks since the mandate went into effect. Of course, there are still some people who do not want to comply with the mandate, and we saw a very unfortunate case of that on video just a couple of weeks ago. This was just a little down the street from where we are at the Golden Moon Distillery. A 62-year-old man shoved an employee after that worker told him to wear a mask. This was caught on surveillance video, and you can see the man just looks so angry. Sadly, this was not the only time we've seen something like this happen here in Colorado or in other parts of the country.
All businesses that deal directly with consumers right now are facing the same threat, and that is people that ignore the law and are willing to get violent rather than putting a mask on. It's ridiculous.
Most people in Golden do seem to take the mandate seriously, and that is why the City Council will consider it extending another 30 days tonight. Golden's rule requires you to wear a face covering anytime you're inside a public place or outside if you can't be at least 6 feet apart from others. There are some exceptions to that if you're out here dining on a patio, which fewer people are doing right now that it's freezing cold out. You can take a mask off when you are eating, of course, but we do see a lot of compliance here in Golden. Saw some runners this morning wearing their masks. We're live in Golden. Nicole Brady, Denver7.
All right, good to hear. Thank you, Nicole. The state's mask mandate, by the way, expires this Sunday. Right now, no word whether the governor plans to extend it past this weekend. He credited the mask mandate for helping reduce the spread of the coronavirus.
The long-awaited return of NFL football is over. The season kicks off tonight in Kansas City. The defending Super Bowl champs Kansas City Chiefs take on the Houston Texans. About 16,000 fans will be in attendance in Kansas City, which is about 22% of the stadium's capacity. Fans are required to wear masks, and concession stands are totally cashless. Meanwhile, the Broncos start the season Monday at home against the Titans. They won't have star linebacker Von Miller playing at that game, or possibly any game all season. He will have surgery for an ankle injury. Former Broncos quarterback Peyton Manning sent an encouraging message to Miller yesterday.
Hey Von, Peyton here. Hey, I'm sorry about the news. Just want you to know you'll be in my thoughts and prayers. Be pulling for you in this recovery. I know you'll attack it like you have everything else and be better for it.
There will be no fans in attendance for Monday's game, but we will have live coverage all morning long on Monday to prepare you for what to expect this season.